So we're going to do pedestrian crossings, and it'll be phase 1. So partly trained.
Okay.
So I'd like you to teach me pedestrian crossings and use the signals by indicators and yeah?
Okay.
Alright. So when you're ready.
So, stop it a bit there. Sorry, getting in front of the camera. So hello Tony, my name's Janice.
Hello Janice, how are you, right?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm going to be your instructor for today because, as you know, again, your instructor's gone off to play golf. You must be an expert by now.
Yeah.
I think that's just an excuse. I think he mentioned to you that he was going to teach you pedestrian crossings today and use of signals.
Yeah.
Don't see any reason to change that, so I'm going to do exactly the same.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a quick run through of what we'll be doing today. Just a quick briefing, gives you an outline of what we're planning to do today.
Right.
Okay. So we'll start off with the use of signals. Like this. Okay. The idea is the purpose of signals, the main methods of signalling, safe signals and other methods of signalling. So the purpose of signals is to help other road users know what you intend to do, which is this little group here. So that's sort of the indicators and the arm signals. It's also to alert others of what you intend to do. So where are we? Oh, I've missed something, sorry. Yeah, so to alert others of your presence. I've missed something. Sorry, waffling on.
That's right.
I've missed something. Yeah, so to allow other road users to know what you intend to do. Like I say, it's the hand signals, the indicators, and also the brake lights to tell other road users that you intend to slow down, and also there's a hand signal you can use as well. The next little group is to alert others of your presence. So this is this little group here, which is your horn and flashing headlights.
Right. I'd actually probably just stick on the main signals, and you can tell me about the others as we
go along.
As we go along, yeah.
But with the hand signals, would you not do them while you're stationary?
Yeah, hand signals and use of indicators.
Okay then. So the main method of signalling is the indicators and the arm signals. Signals must be properly timed, so not too early. If you're turning left at second turning on the left, you wouldn't signal just before you got to the first turn on the left, because that would be a dangerous signal, and anybody waiting at that first turning might pull out in front of you. And you wouldn't give signals that are misleading. So if you signal too early, somebody behind you might think you're pulling over and parking on the left. So signals must be properly timed. And the other methods of signalling are the hazards, the horn, flashing headlights, brake lights, fog lights and reversing lights. So do you have any questions you'd like to ask?
No.
No? Okay, so we're going to look at hand signals before we go off anywhere else.
I know a few of them.
Yeah, do you?
Well, I've seen a few anyway.
Well, they're not the sort of hand signals we're going to do today. So have you ever ridden a bike?
Yeah.
So you've probably used hand signals if you've ridden a bike.
I have, yeah.
So there's three main signals that we're going to use, and that's to let people know you're going right, left, or if you're slowing down. Especially the slowing down signal, you know, because we're doing pedestrian crossings today, it's very useful to give a slowing down signal if there's very bright sunlight, because it sometimes makes the lights less obvious. So it's a useful one to do. So what hand signal would you give if you were turning right? You said you've used hand signals.
I'll stick my hand out.
Yeah, so we're gonna practice that now. So it's important though that we check the right mirror and over our right shoulder, just in case there's anybody coming up from the right hand side, because if there is, you don't want to stick your hand out. You know, if somebody's on a cycle, you might knock them off.
Yeah, they might knock my hand off, wouldn't they?
Yeah, could break your arm.
Wouldn't be able to play the piano anymore, would it?
Yeah. Do you play it now?
No.
So have a check of the right mirror.
Oh, yeah.
Look over your right shoulder just to make sure you see way back to. You see what colour that third car along is.
Right, yeah.
What colour is it? What colour is it?
Oh, yellow.
The yellow one, yeah. So we're going to put your hand out, shoulder height, palm facing forward.
All right.
Your thumb clamped down.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a signal to say that we're going right.
Oh, right, yeah.
So count to 3 and then bring it back in, hand back on the steering wheel.
All right.
So to give a left signal, do you know how to do the left signal? Yeah, you could do that, but you might hit somebody in the face and somebody behind won't see it.
That's what you steal my bike.
Yeah, that is what you would do on your bike, but not in a car.
All right.
So in a car, again, check your mirrors to make sure there's nobody coming before you stick your hand out. Exactly the same as you did for the right turn. So put your hand out.
All right.
Thumb clamped down, and circle your hand anti-clockwise, about the size of a dinner plate.
All right. All right.
Yeah, from the shoulder, not from the wrist.
Yeah.
Yep, and bring it in. So, like I say, three sort of rotations is usually enough. Slowing down signal is, again, check your mirrors before you put your hand out.
All right, yeah.
Hand out at shoulder level again.
All right.
Palm facing the floor.
All right.
And up and down, about the size of a dinner plate.
All right.
Just 3 times.
It's like patting the dog, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And then hand in. And that's enough to let anybody know. We'd use that in conjunction with the signal, so it's not instead of the signal, it's as well as.
Ah, right.
So you put the signal on first, and then if you thought somebody would benefit from, like I say, in bright sunlight, you can use that signal.
Okay, right.
Okay. So we go on to pedestrian crossings now. And the objectives are how to approach a crossing, and what you do when you're at the crossing, and proceeding once the crossing's clear. And then we'll talk a bit about crossings with islands. So as soon as you identify a crossing up ahead, it's either going to be a pole like this, which is the zebra crossing, or a traffic light controlled crossing. So the 2 types, they've got different names because they act in slightly different ways, but they're basically, you know, the same thing. If they're red, you stop. If they're green, you know, you have, if nobody's on the crossing, we can go. We use, as soon as we've identified the crossing, we use our MSM routine. So we check the rear view mirror to see what's happening behind, update ourselves on the traffic behind. We check the right mirror to make sure nobody's overtaking. We need to approach slow enough to stop safely, but obviously we don't want to overreact if the lights are not red. We're just slow enough so that we can react if we need to. We're not allowed to park on the zigzag lines on approach to the crossing, and also there's no overtaking allowed on the zigzag lines either. And at the crossing, if we have to stop, we're going to wait at either the give-way line. On this side it's a broken white line, the stop line is the solid white line, so they're both treated the same. So you need to stop at the white line so you can still see the studs over your bonnet.
Right, you'll help me with that though, won't you?
I will help you with that, definitely. Yep. What if we're the lead car at a crossing? We need to secure the car, because if anybody shunts you from behind, it can push you onto the crossing and you could run a pedestrian over.
What do you mean secure the car?
So we're going to secure the car by putting the handbrake on.
Oh, right, yeah.
Okay. It's dangerous to beckon anybody across, so you can slow down and stop if you need to, but don't beckon anybody across. Let them make their own decision, because although you've stopped for them, they may not see the car coming in the other direction. They're so busy thanking you for being kind that they may still walk out when it's not safe. So slow down and stop if you have to, and let them make their own decisions. On proceeding away from the crossing, we use the POM routine. So we prepare the car to move off. Our observations, we need to check our blind spots, because sometimes pedestrians come onto the crossing diagonally. So if you don't check, if you're in the lead car and you don't check your blind spot to the left, and somebody's coming diagonally, you could run into them.
I suppose I could check the door mirrors, couldn't I?
You could check the door mirrors, but it's not necessarily going to see anybody that's out of your view, sort of thing, in your blind spot. So there's only one way to check your blind spots, and that's to check them. Keep the crossing clear, so if you're in queuing traffic, stop at the give-way line unless you can go all the way across and clear the whole crossing, because firstly, it's 3 points on your licence.
Cool, I don't want that, do I?
No, and you get prosecuted for stopping on the crossing, but more importantly, if a blind person was to want to cross there, they wouldn't expect you to be there and would walk straight into you and could injure themselves. Zebra crossing, it's up to you to decide when you need to stop. You know, if there's somebody waiting at the crossing, then you need to stop. And again, it's up to you to decide when it's safe to go. There's not going to have any lights to tell you it's your turn to go. So you've got to wait for the crossing to be clear and proceed when it is clear.
If I've got a pedestrian standing at a zebra crossing, I don't have to stop.
You do have to stop, yeah. If
no, it's not somebody... up to me, it's up to them, isn't it?
Well, if somebody's waiting to cross, you should stop and let them cross. Right. You know, and obviously if they're already on the crossing, you've got to stop for them. But yeah, if they're waiting there and they want to cross, then you should stop. Yeah. Yeah. Don't just proceed. Pelican crossing is the one which has the flashing amber. If the crossing's clear, there's nobody on the crossing or about to step onto the crossing, and the amber light's flashing, you can proceed, but obviously with caution, just in case anybody suddenly does step on. Pelican, no flashing light, so you need to wait for the green light, and you can proceed on green, but again with caution, because you quite often get pedestrians that don't follow the rules. And that applies to the Puffin, Toucan, Pegasus and the combined. You proceed on a green light. Police, the school or the police can patrol. They'll signal you that they're going to step into the road. They'll put they'll put the lollipop up if it's a lollipop lady, and that means that she's going to stop the traffic. So it's slow down and stop. Yeah. And you can proceed. When they get to the back onto the pavement, they'll signal to you, thanking you for stopping, and that's your signal to proceed. But again, because it's a crossing where children use it, it's always with caution. Crossings with islands, there's zebra crossing with an island in the middle. So if it had an island here, treat it as two crossings. So if a pedestrian walked onto the island and you were sure that they were going to carry on walking over to the right and they didn't turn back round, you could proceed once they're in that safe haven in the middle. Straight Pelican or Puffin, it's just one crossing, so you must wait until they're all the way off the crossing and the lights are in your favour. A staggered crossing, again, you treat as two crossings, so you might have a crossing here and then a little bit walkway up there and then another crossing there. But once the pedestrians, are you looking? Yeah. Once the pedestrian is on its way up to the next crossing, then you can proceed. Right. Sorry.
I've just got one question. On these zigzags, I can't overtake.
You're not allowed to overtake on these zigzags. If it was a crossing and it had two lanes, and there's queuing traffic in this lane, you can come up level with the lead car, but you mustn't come up and overtake.
Yeah, because my brother, when he's driving, he overtakes cycles.
You can overtake cyclists if they're doing less than 10 miles an hour. You can overtake a cyclist. Any other questions?
But if the cyclist was stopped at the crossing?
Well, obviously, if he stopped at the crossing, then he's going to be slower moving off than you are, probably. So I don't know the answer to that, to be honest.
Yeah, I can overtake a cyclist within the zigzags, but obviously I can't overtake anybody who, even the cyclist who stopped at the crossing and let pedestrians cross, yeah? Okay. Yeah? Right, should we go and practice then?
Yep.